the matter itself is energy in another form. It's actually energy slowed down, or light slowed down. Actually, when I use the term light, technically I'm referring to photons of electromagnetic energy of the full spectrum. But that's too hard to say over and over, so I just call it light, because light is an identical part of that full spectrum. It includes radio waves, microwaves, X-rays, all these different things. They're just different frequencies of one type of thing, which are photons of electromagnetic energy, and light is part of it. So, and by the way, this formula is very interesting, because people didn't realize exactly what this formula is. Because as I'll be pointing out in a couple of minutes, light actually does not exist in the physical universe. Light interfaces with the physical universe, but technically, given Einstein's special theory of relativity, it really isn't in the physical universe, although we can perceive it from here. It is an interface with the non-material world. And so that formula, E equals mc squared, is not only showing the equivalency of energy and matter, it is also showing the equivalency of the non-material or spiritual world to the physical world. Or you might say the absolute to the relative. And you see, to make it an equivalency, it takes a really big number. I mean, the speed of light squared is a really large number. Really, really large. So a tiny, tiny bit of energy. Actually, it takes a lot of energy to make a little bit of matter, because energy is a very high potential and matter is a very low potential. And anyway, this doesn't really matter. That's not an important part of the talk. So then we get to really those two proofs that I told you about the existence of God, the watchmaker argument, and I didn't finish this one. The second logical argument is the fact that if we now prove that a universe of 10,000 billion stars and all the space, approximately 30 billion light year diameter, and billions of years, all of that came to exist from absolutely nothing. The question is, what could create that? And so far, nobody has been able to conceive of anything that could create that other than a being such as we have called God, a being with absolute power. It doesn't seem like, we cannot imagine any other kind of thing or event that could create that. But still, that is not satisfying to a lot of people, because these are both philosophical arguments. So, what if we want to have a scientific proof of the existence of God? What would that really be? What can I prove? What could I do to prove to you that God exists scientifically? What if I were able to point my finger here and have a being appear hovering in the air, and this being looked like whatever you thought God might look like, if you think God looks like anything, and were to say to you, I am God, is that enough proof? Would you accept that? No, you would know I have some kind of trick, wouldn't you? Probably a magician could do that. I've seen more amazing things than that done by magicians. So that wouldn't really prove anything. Now, God is a very difficult thing to prove scientifically, because, particularly as Muslims, I'm not quite as sure about other religions, but in Islam, we believe that we cannot know the essence of God. So if we cannot understand, conceive of, or ever know the essence of God, there is no actual thing to prove. So the closest we could possibly get, because although we say we cannot prove, we cannot know the essence of God, we can easily know the attributes of God. So what if I could prove the existence of some of the attributes of God? In particular, we don't focus on that in Islam, but theologians, people who study religion, they have said that there are 4 primary attributes of God. And they say everybody's religion has these 4 primary attributes. And they are that God is eternal, that God is omnipresent, that God is omnipotent, and God is omniscient. Now, in case you don't know all these words, of course, eternal, by the way, does not mean goes on forever, right? You might be sitting there thinking, wow, when is this guy going to finish talking? His talk seems like it's eternal, goes on forever. No, that's not the case. Eternal does not mean goes on forever. Eternal means not involved in the flow of time. Omnipresent means present everywhere at the same time. There's a little bit of controversy in Islam as to whether or not God is omnipresent, but one of the names of God is that He is omnipresent, so I don't think we have too much worry. I will say that God is omnipotent, meaning has all power, and omniscient, meaning having all knowledge. So, how could Einstein's special theory of relativity prove something like this? Prove those four things exist? Well, now, one of the reasons scientists had said that they didn't have to deal with a question of God, they said science deals with only that which can be observed. And what can be observed is only in the physical existence. And we cannot observe that which is outside the physical existence, and so science does not go there. So science has no obligation to discuss the concept of God. Now that was true until Einstein came up with his theories of relativity. But Einstein's both his general and special theory of relativity, by the way, the general theory is about the special nature of gravity, and the special theory is about the special nature of light. Both of them leave the physical world and make the breakthrough into the world that is non-material, that from a religious point of view we would call spiritual, non-material, and also we would call absolute as opposed to relative, like the physical existence. So, Einstein's special theory of relativity gave us our first look from the realm of the physical existence into the realm of the non-physical or spiritual existence. Actually opened the door, tiny, just a little bit opened the door, but we got our first look at what exists outside of space and time, outside the physical existence. So, if I had a big box here and it was sealed, I could tell you anything that would fit in that box was in that box, and you wouldn't know whether it was true or not. There would be no way at all for you to know what was in that box. So until that box was opened, you have no idea what it is. So what if what was in that box was what everyone in the world had for thousands of years thought was there? Because for thousands of years, most of the people in the world thought if you could get outside of the physical existence, there will be God. So Einstein's opening of the door from the physical world to the spiritual world is somewhat like this box that was not open, nobody could see in before. But if you get a look in, how amazing it would be if what you found there was exactly what people believed was there but couldn't prove before. And that was God existed there. But we cannot see God in His essence. We can only see God in His attributes. So you open that box, or you open that door from the physical world to the spiritual world, and what do you see? You see the primary attributes of God. Now, if that were true, I mean, that would just be so absolutely amazing, because you could find anything. You don't know what would be in that box. Anything in the whole world could be.